We come to Earth perfect as we are, and we are uniquely us. Over the time, though, these shoulds build up, and we're programmed from society to be a certain way, to look a certain way, to do certain things, because that's what you should do. But that is not a one-size-fits-all. It gets all tangled up and messy, and we spend the rest of our life untangling those shoulds and social programming back to finding our unique self. Hi, welcome to the Mosai Network. I am a Mosai member, and I am so excited to be here. My name is Jennifer Banks. I live in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I am the mother of 3 little boys, ages 5, 3, and 1, so I am right in the thick of it. I am the host of a podcast called A is for Adversity. I am so excited to share my message with you. There are so many things I could talk about. I am on a mission to eliminate mom guilt. I could talk about what I share on my podcast, which is how challenges refine our character. I am an entrepreneur. I could talk about how we can be a mom and a business owner at the same time. But today I'm going to share with you the power of storytelling and how storytelling goes right to someone's subconscious when you share with them a story from your heart. My story is called The Shoulds We Carry. My husband and I have been married about 10 years. I remember when we had been married only 6 months. I walked into our spare bedroom, and this was kind of a catch-all room. Maybe you have one. There was a desk with a computer, and underneath there was a bunch of food storage. There was a keyboard, and underneath there was a bunch of camping gear. On the other side, there were leftover wedding decorations and wedding presents. There was also my husband's puzzle table. My husband is an avid jigsaw puzzle doer. I swear he can just pick up a piece and know exactly where it goes. This particular puzzle was 1,000 pieces, and it was on a fancy table of 2 packages of plastic water bottles stacked on top of each other with a thin board over top. As he was doing this puzzle, he and I would talk, and it just became something that he would do when he came home from school or work to decompress and figure out life. I looked around the room and I figured I should clean up. Oh, I was a new wife. Surely I could handle just a small apartment that we had. It should be cleaner. All of the things should be in their place. How could I be so careless in letting this room get so messy? So, as a good little wife should, I cleaned up the room. I was putting things back in their places and organizing things, and I reached up to put a sleeping bag on the top shelf of the closet, and down it fell. It was as if everything was in slow motion. It landed right on my husband's puzzle, and puzzle pieces went everywhere. They were cascading down, and my heart sank. How could I have done this to my husband's puzzle? He was going to be angry. He was going to be so mad that I was so careless. I started to sob, and my husband was home at the time, and so he ran into the room to check if I was okay. He had heard the loud crash, and he quickly noticed what was going on, and he gave me a great big hug. He started consoling me for breaking his puzzle. He told me, "Jen, puzzles are like that. They're meant to be put back together. Now I can do it again." He had viewed me with a lens of love, without judgment, with pure acceptance and understanding, and I couldn't believe it. I started to look around the room, and I began to see that we were making a life. It was okay that not everything was in its place. All the clothes on the floor, that meant we had clothes to wear. The food storage underneath the counter, the cupboard, the desk, that just meant that we had enough food to eat. And abundance. The camping gear, we could go on recreational activities and spend time together. The computer, we were able to do our schoolwork and be students at this university. My perspective changed then, and I saw that we were creating a life. A few years later, I was a teacher. I taught 2nd grade in an elementary school, and I had kind of figured out the marriage thing. I was starting to figure out teaching, and then I found out I was pregnant. Throw a baby in the mix and everything changes. You feel like you just have things figured out, and then you have to find a new normal, and you change cities and you find a new normal. You add another child and you add a new normal. And so I was drowning a little bit in the busyness of all of the things that were happening. We were away from family, so I didn't have that support. And here I have my first baby, and I try so hard to breastfeed because that's what a good mom should do, right? A good mom should try as hard as she can to feed her baby the natural way. My son did not take to latching very easily, but I kept pumping because I wanted to try, I wanted to make it work, and I wanted to keep up my milk supply in the meantime. Well, we got into a good rhythm with pumping, and I knew that I was going to go back to work in just a few months, a few weeks. I had the summer off. And so we just continued to do exclusive pumping. It was fine. It was great. I was feeding my baby. I was breastfeeding him. And of course, everybody wanted to know about it. Even the clerk at the deli counter asked me if I was breastfeeding, as if it's her business. And I just kept getting caught in all those shoulds. A good mom should breastfeed. A good mom should be a certain mother. A good mom should nurture her child this way. And it was all becoming very heavy. I went back to work and I continued to pump while at school. So now I was a working mom who was also breastfeeding, pumping, while being a mother and a teacher, all of the things. I made it about 6 months and then my mental capacity was shot. That was all I could take. But I switched to formula and my son was still being fed. I'm here to report that he's still alive today. I went on to have another child, also a boy, and I decided to skip the whole route of breastfeeding and we just went right to formula. And he was also fed. He's alive today. He's healthy and happy, and I'm still a good mom. My third baby, also a boy mom here, he did breastfeed. He had a tongue tie, but we got that corrected and he was able to latch, and I breastfed him for about a year. All three babies, it looked different, but again, I'm still a good mom. They're still alive, they're healthy, they're thriving. I was able to put away those shoulds. One way we can do this is by switching our shoulds to coulds. I could do this. Is this what I want? Is this how I feel? Shoulds build up over time. We come to earth perfect as we are, and we are uniquely us. Over the time, though, these shoulds build up, and we're programmed from society to be a certain way, to look a certain way, to do certain things, because that's what you should do. That's the best way that they've found. That's how they did it. That's what their child did. But that is not a one size fits all. It gets all tangled up and messy, and we spend the rest of our life untangling those shoulds and social programming back to finding our unique self. When we view ourselves uniquely like that, with our identity, that is called our inherent lens. This lens is our worth. And again, our worth came with us when we were born. It does not increase, it does not decrease. That is who we are as a human. When we are viewing situations with our inherent lens, we put away those shoulds. We do what we want to do, what we could do, and we leave that possibility open. The other lens we use is our derived lens. This lens is circumstantial. This lens is based on who we're with and what we're doing, and it changes constantly. When we're using our derived lens, we fall into those shoulds. We experience mom guilt. We feel like we're not enough. But just like $100 bill that comes crisp, nice, clean, ready to spend, its worth is $100. If it gets stomped on, if it gets squished, torn, lost, its worth is still $100. If there's a little piece lost, like that puzzle piece that got scattered, its worth is still $100. Your worth is unique. It's you. It's your identity. It's fluid. It's changing. Regardless of if you're a mother, if you're not a mother, if you're single, if you're married, if you have children, if you don't have children, if you have one, if you have 5, your identity is you, and it can be shaped. Now I have 3 boys, and I remember one particular day. It was November 1st, the day after Halloween, and it was the witching hour. Maybe you know this time. It is right before dinner where everyone's hungry, we're tired, dad isn't home yet, we're trying to feed our children and also take care of them at the same time. It is a busy time. And I remember this day, it was especially hard because it was raining. My children had had so much candy, and here was my oldest asking me if he could have another piece. I told him no because we were about to eat dinner, and he lost it. He broke down crying and hid in the corner while his tears ran down his face. My middle son, he looked out the window and asked if he could go ride his bike. I told him it was raining and that we couldn't go outside. So he started crying, tears streaming down his face by the window. My youngest, a baby at the time, joined in because babies cry and the others were crying. So I'm sure he found a reason to cry, whether he was hungry or upset, needed a diaper change. Babies cry. So I looked around and I saw these 3 boys crying. Normally it would be a time to pull at my hair and scream and just question what I was doing. A good mom should be able to meet the needs of all her children. Some mothers have 5 children and they're able to meet their needs. Why can't I? I should be able to control the weather. Why can't this just be a perfect day where I can let the kids outside and release their energy? I should be able to manage all of this. I should be able to be the mom they need right now. But I put down my should and I picked up my inherent lens and I took the time to give them each a hug and tell them how much I loved them. Yes, I did not kill any of them. We made it through the night. We were able to get through dinner and make it. And I was even in the moment able to laugh at the moment and record it on camera so that I have that memory forever. Those shoulds, they get really heavy, whether we carry them generationally or again from society, from what other people are doing, or from within ourselves. What we feel like a good mom should do, should be. Again, we can put down those shoulds. That's a heavy load to carry, especially as they build over time. I'm here to give you permission to put them down and to pick up your inherent lens. Only you know what's best for your children. You are the mom that your children needs. You feel like you need some self-care, you need to fill up your cup. Great. Drink as you pour. You don't need to feel guilty for those things that you want and need. You feel like you should eat healthier. Nobody has time to chop all those vegetables when they're a young mom. The kids are going to eat. This is your season. Maybe it's not the time to eat the most perfect healthy meal, or maybe you can outsource it. You can put down that should. Your time is now to spend with your kids. Play Paw Patrol on the floor, get down and race those race cars. You feel like you should have your body back. It's been 6 to 9 months. Come on, get that weight off. No, this is your time to honor your body and to recognize the gift that it was to have this precious baby, this child. You will get to exercising when it's time. You'll get to movement when you want to, when you feel like it's best for you and your situation. Many people told me, you're going to write a book right now? This isn't the best time. You have little kids at home. What are you thinking? I know that it's the best time because I am an example to my children of what's possible. I am nurturing my dreams as I am nurturing them. This is the perfect time. I'm able to fulfill my happiness and show up as a better mom for them. Picture yourself packing your suitcase. You put in flip-flops, you put in sunscreen, a bathing suit, towels. And you get on the airplane and you land and you're in Alaska. You packed the wrong suitcase. That is somewhat like we are in our lives. We come with certain tools, strengths, abilities, talents. And if we pack those in our bags, we're showing up at the wrong place with the wrong objects. We can't truly thrive and enjoy our time. So if you feel like you're a CEO trapped in a stay-at-home mom's body, it's time to find ways to fulfill that cup, to fulfill that need, so that you're not resenting your children. You're not resenting motherhood. You're doing what you can do. Not what other people think you should do. Not even what you think you should do, but what you could do, what you truly want to do, what is a part of you. I am a woman. I am strong. I am kind. I am capable. I know my identity. Many women feel like their needs don't matter, or that they need to be put on the back burner right now. I'm here to tell you that you need to drink as you pour. As you're feeding your children, give yourself a bite. See yourself as part of the family table. Somebody who is also equally deserving of love and care. And self-care isn't that commercial, marketable, fulfilling aspect that we think self-care is. And while the pampering and indulgence is so important and necessary and desired, true self-care is soul care. Soul care encompasses mind, body, and spirit. What are you doing for your mind? Are you constantly keeping it energized and alive, stimulated? Are you learning new things? Are you refining yourself? Are you continuing that education? Your body, are you getting regular movement? Are you nourishing yourself? Are you eating a candy bar in the corner, or are you eating the meal that you prepared with your children? Your spirit, Do you take time to reflect and journal and meditate and engage in spiritual practices if that fits you? You are so deserving of love. Picture a little baby coming to the earth. They are in need of love and care. They are a soul. Who is your soul underneath all of your roles? You're busy. I get it. I know. I am too. But by investing in yourself first, you are giving so much more to your children than if you were depleted. Again, drink as you pour. That is teaching through storytelling. Did you feel the difference? I feel like stories connect in such a way that is different than any other. Storytelling goes back forever, as long as humans were alive. And when we tell stories, we connect right to someone's subconscious. What are the stories that you could share? The stories that will connect you to other people, that will break down those walls of resentment or unknowing strangeness. We need connection. We need community. We see that now more than ever after the pandemic. We need to be in connection. My highest value is connection. That is what I seek the most. I used to feel guilty because I felt like I should have the highest value of family. That family was the most important, that they were my driving reason. And if that's your reason, that is so great because you chose it. But my highest value is connection. I find moments of connection with family members, but also with strangers, with friends, with other people that I meet on the street. And when I'm in connection, I feel like my truest self. I encourage you to find your highest values. What are your core values? What is the thing that makes you you? How do you feel the most like yourself? If you need help, you can go online. There are lots of lists of core values. I recommend Brené Brown's 100 value list from Dare to Be. She has so many good adjectives and values that you could use. These core values drive your behavior. They drive your decisions. They help you decide what you could do, what you want to do, what you need to do so that you can show up better for yourself and for your family. Another one of my values is contribution. This is part of the reason why I am fulfilled outside the home or alongside motherhood, because I feel that when I'm making a contribution to something greater than my family, I am making a difference. The important thing to note here is that values are not moral. If somebody values integrity and another person values punctuality, one value is not greater than another. They are equal. You get to decide what are values for you, not what you feel like you should be, not what other people feel like you should be, what you could be, what you want to be, your truest self, your highest self, and bring that version into motherhood. I invite you to follow me on Instagram at A is for Adversity. Listen to my podcast wherever you get podcasts. I am rebranding soon to Let Yourself Bloom. That's the title of my book, and it's going to release in September of 2024. I am so excited to share more with you about how you can bloom as you're nurturing your children. If you want my freebie, you can find me on Instagram or at my website, aisforadversity.com, and there's a freebie that is a self-care adventure. I want you to do more of the things that make you happy. Make a list of things that you can do that are 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, that can light your soul up so that you can, again, bring that version to motherhood. You are worthy. You are worth it. You deserve care as much as your children, or even more, so that you can show up and bring that version to motherhood. Remember, drink as you pour.